Yeah.
Ready for action.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Innate State. Russell, nice to see you, buddy.
Thank you.
Today we've got an interesting guest. His name's Sivan. He's a local guy who's got a barber shop here in Benoni, and we're going to have a good chat with him. He does some interesting stuff, and first we're going to start off with a 5-minute quick little meditation, part of our tradition.
Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
Sivan's not a big meditator, but I'm going to direct you into it. Okay.
Gotcha.
Sivan, just straighten your back a bit, and then just put your hands comfortably like it's in your lap. And then I'll take you into it. Just close your eyes. And just breathe. Take a few deep breaths. Just exhale. When you exhale, just allow your day to kind of dissolve and all that tension, etc., to go. So on each out breath, you're going to relax your body a little bit more. Just keep your focus on your breath and the way your body's relaxing, any sensations. Just allow yourself to relax more and more. When you're ready, you can slowly come out of the meditation and open your eyes. Sivan, welcome, buddy.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Russell,
Cheers, cheers.
how did that feel for you, Sivan?
Calming.
Calming,
Yeah.
Did you find your mind was still spinning a bit, thinking
maybe-
about stuff, or not as much?
No, switch off. And I think maybe I don't say I meditate, but it's something I do when I do go to sleep. I focus on that breathing.
Oh, do you?
Maybe I've never called it meditation,
Yeah.
but it is a calming solution to ending a day, I guess.
And too busy,
Yeah.
too much thinking.
Yeah, you know what a day is like. And I've got so much going on at the moment. I find it
You're running, you like hustling all day long.
hustling thoughts, yeah, more than more than
Hustling
a physical.
thoughts.
You know, I'm going from baseball to, from barbering to baseball, to cycling to my own personal life. It's
a lot,
It's a busy day, yeah.
Yeah. So, how did you get into barbering? I mean, how did that
It's something we
happen?
picked up as kids. Joe Maloma was still playing rugby for the All Blacks,
Yeah.
and everybody wanted that little cave.
So you started doing your own
So
cuts
me and
or
my
what?
cousin were cutting hair, we're cutting each other's hair, and we ended up like
Cutting
kids
your
lining up
Chinese hair, yeah.
in the garage having the cuts done, and
Really?
buzz cuts became a thing. You know, we got
Yeah.
suspended for those things, but it's just something I wanted to do leaving school, and my
Yeah.
dad was old school, and he's no, it's not going to happen. But I carried
It's not
on.
a real job, buddy.
Well, I don't know if I can say this on camera these days, but yeah, he was old school. You know,
Yeah.
his motives, his morals were different.
For sure.
But it's something I carried on, and 7 years ago, I was sitting without work, and a mate of mine, Adam Steele from BR Tattoos, said, "Look, you can cut hair. Get yourself some tools and a chair, and let's see how it goes."
So you started at his shop.
Out of his shop at the Grill and Grill by
Okay.
Bunny Park, and
Yeah.
things just rolled out of.
It was
rolled
just
out
a
of his
turning
shop.
point.
Yeah. So yeah, 40 years later, I'm finally doing what I wanted to do when I
And
left
you're
school.
enjoying it, and you're
Loving
successful
it,
with
yeah.
it.
Yeah, business is
It's a
good.
busy shop.
Business has grown.
So what kind of got you to that point of? I know you said you didn't have work, but I mean that must have been quite challenging in itself at the time. It was
Yeah.
kind of like to just. What were you doing before?
So, I think we've all been around the block, but when I left school, I got into IT. My dad was a software engineer, so he was trying to guide me, grew me into his industry, and I ended up in the freight industry for 8 years, doing software support
Okay.
for a company called CompuClearing. From there, I went to Mercantile Bank, and then from there, I went to IBM. That was my last corporate company.
Okay.
So I was in IT for 15 years. And they forced me to take 6 weeks leave, and came back, and I realized this isn't where I want to be. This isn't what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I got into a bit of plumbing. We worked for my uncle doing geyser maintenance
Okay.
for the manufacturers. Did that for 4 or 5 years. But in the interim, we'd also bought into a solar geyser franchise. This is 16 years ago. Did that for 4 or 5 years. Then I did the filming for 4 or 5 years with Johan. A bit of sourcing and procurement for gold mining.
You've been around, dude.
So, I don't think anybody at our age has been.
Sure.
Has
No, you're right. We've
has
done a few
something,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Something
then
that stuck was cutting hair.
Was
People
cutting
always
hair, yeah.
coming to me, and my 4 boys. I'd been cutting their hair for their whole lives. But yeah, I was down and out, and this opportunity came up, and I ran with it.
Well done.
Yeah.
It's not always that easy
No.
because some guys would have ended up doing some other shit job that they hated
Yeah.
just to cut it, just to make ends meet.
That's what I've realized in the 40 years. You can't do
Yeah.
something you love in an environment that you can't stand. And
They don't work together. Hey?
No,
Yeah.
no. And you could do
But
something
also,
you
I
love,
find
but-
those challenges help you to shift, help you to.
Well, everything's
you're not
been a
happy with this, you
challenge.
move. You know, you.
Yeah. From the solar geyser business we ran, I had a partner, partnership, sinking ship, that went south, and we're doing really well with that. To the walling company, I worked for one of the local walling companies, and eventually went on my own. That was going well until their lawyers got hold of me. Then the sourcing and procurement for gold mining, that was also good. Sitting and working in my
Yeah,
underpants.
and I mean now you survived flipping even lockdown,
Yeah.
which is a big deal.
Well, yeah, prohibition and
Yeah.
illegal haircuts.
So do you I mean as a hair cutter, barber, whatever you want to call it, you become like a bit of a psychologist as well.
Yeah,
Like,
we have some interesting.
You know,
chats.
you get interesting, like your regulars will come to you. Am I right? Or even people maybe that are new, and suddenly they're spilling all the,
Spill their beans.
all
We've
the
built-
stuff they don't talk to their families about. They're going to tell you about
They
it.
do, and I think Benoni, most of Benoni knows more about me than about me.
Oh, you know more about everyone else.
And I know more about a lot of people in Benoni. Yeah, I think you build those relationships in the barber shop, and your returning clients, you build good relationships with them, and they feel like they can open up to you. And I feel this,
And
the
then
same way
are
about
you
them.
happy to, like, if they want your advice, or you just more of a listener?
I listen to most of them. Just don't ask me on any advice on relationships.
That's not that's not your strong point.
No, it's my negative point. So I'm going to give you the wrong advice.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
No, but I
Been
find
around
that
the block
interesting
there
because
too.
there's an interaction that gets built in that industry.
No, it is. It comes with the territory.
Yeah. Which is kind of must be gratifying as well at times.
It is.
You know, people, unless they're spilling all sorts of misery on you and you're absorbing it.
If you can make them feel good with a haircut and a good conversation, I mean, that's what it's about for me.
Yeah, you're right. And you've lifted their day and maybe their week.
Yeah, I mean, that inspires me. That's why I do this.
So tell me, I know you're also involved in kind of charity work stuff, Sivan. Tell us a bit about that. But
Yeah, it was about a year after we opened up the Eastside Barbers. One of my clients had COVID, and he was in ICU for 7 days, and he came Loden Pillay. He came out and he wrote a book about it. Myself and Adam, the guy I started with, he moved into the shop next door, and we were going to do a charity for a cancer patient. So he ran like a tattoo special with a beer and a haircut or something, and all proceeds
raising money for
this cancer patient who unfortunately did pass away the following year. But Nolan got involved with us, and since then he's got an organisation called Be the Best Version of Yourself. They climb Kili every 2 years to raise funds for...
So, sorry, just tell her, what is Kili?
Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro is a mountain in Africa and Kenya.
Highest mountain in
Not
Africa.
everyone knows that.
Yes.
Yeah. So you say they climb it every second year?
So they climb it every 2 years, and they have climbed it for a specific cause. So last year we climbed for cancer and mental wellness to raise funds for 2 smaller NPOs, that need help.
That's quite an achievement. That's quite a thing.
It was, and nobody thought I'd be able to do it. But
You made it.
But I did it. I made it. Yes, we made it.
But now, why did you choose? Did he choose those organizations, or were you somewhere involved in that?
So this is their organization, and every 2 years they change the cause. So the year before that they did for Climb for the Deaf, where they raised money for hearing aids for kids that are born deaf. And I think to date they've installed 5 or 7 of these hearing aids for kids that are born deaf.
And I'm sure they're expensive, those things.
I believe they're between 200 and 250,000 rand per unit. So, yeah, and with banks and all the organizations sponsoring, they raise quite a substantial amount. So I've kind of become close to Nolan. So next year we're doing it again. We're climbing for autism, and the Blind Association has reached out to them. They've got a handful of blind climbers who would like to be assisted.
Jeepers, that's going to be another game, eh?
That's going to be a
and
whole
also
challenge.
Quite a challenge for you as well.
Yeah, look, we'll do a different route. We did quite a shorter route, but more technical route last year. So next year will be a less gradual route over a few.
That's quite something. I mean, blind going up Kilimanjaro, I didn't think that was a thing.
No. But that's their dream, and that's what we want them to
try and
have.
fulfill that. So how many of you went on this thing?
Initially we were 12 or 15 people, 5 from South Africa and the rest from international Portugal, Sweden. But for some reason they didn't quite make it, so that we ended up being 3 people from South Africa.
That just stuck together on
the group. 2 of the people pulled out and did their own little thing. But we weren't too happy about that. But next year's going to be a big one.
Because I've heard some things about Kilimanjaro that sometimes guys, they peg up there.
Yeah, it happens. Altitude sickness is the biggest cause of reason.
And sometimes the guys that are like too fit for some reason.
Well, funny enough,
is that a thing? I don't know.
We had an American crew come past us, and every day they were hauling ass up the mountain.
Hitting it.
Big, strong, strapping American football guys, and half of them didn't make it back down. I mean, didn't make it up to the summit.
They didn't make it?
No. Altitude's a funny thing. It hits you or it doesn't. You can't gauge it. You can't predetermine it.
So they get to a point where they're like, we can't go on anymore, and they stay there until they come right, or they got to go back down.
Well, depending
straight
on the
off.
severity
Depending how
of it,
bad they
they'll
are.
keep them there. If it's
Yeah.
severe, then they'll rush them back down the mountain. And I mean, on our way back down from Summit, the helicopter had done 5 trips from wherever the local hospital
Fetching
is,
oaks.
fetching oaks from our campsite. So if it affects you, it affects
Can
you.
the helicopter go all the way to the summit? Because sometimes I know the air.
I know they say the air is too thin.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we didn't see it come up right to the top, and the campsite, in terms of distance, was probably 500 or 600 meters in altitude.
In altitude.
Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, the choppers weren't far, and the porters there that help you are phenomenal. I mean, they had stretchers, steel stretchers all along the mountain. When you summit at night. You don't see a thing. You're walking with a torch. You're just following your
why?
guide, so that you can get there for the sunrise.
Okay.
I think that's what they tell people, but I think it's purely so you don't see what the hell you're climbing up during the daytime. Because
It's
then
just
you're
to
going like, no.
Yeah. It's to prepare you like
Yeah.
gently.
No negative thoughts, but no. And then coming down, they got their oxygen tanks and everything else.
Do you use oxygen going up?
You don't need it, no. So,
But
so
if someone needs it, they
if
could.
someone does, the porters do carry oxygen with
What's the
them.
height of that thing?
In feet, in meters, it's 6,000. I can't remember now.
Somewhere around there.
5,000,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm just
895.
curious.
It's close to 6,000. Yeah, call it 6,000. Yeah.
It's a serious hike. I mean, a serious hike. Not even a hike. We're talking about a climb, yeah.
Yeah, well, it took us
Not the same as a
6
hike.
days to get to the top. So,
Jeepers.
you go.
And how many? What kind of distance would you do in a day?
It
height.
averaged from 5 to 15 kilometers a day.
As much.
So-
as
so
that,
when
yeah.
we're
with a lot of
climbing-
heavy shits on your back.
No, you got the porters
Ah,
that
okay.
they carry all your
Better.
gear for you. By
Yeah.
the time you get to campsite, everything's pitched and stuff. So you carry snacks and
So
water.
it's kind of a lux climbing.
pretty much. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, the first 3 days were lax. After that, it's
It's not.
it's not so. When you reach 4,000 feet, then you start feeling the altitude, and you're short of breath. And
So did you feel it like you were kind of getting tired as you're trying to hit it? You're getting
funny
tired.
enough,
You're
I got
sweating.
stronger after the 3rd day, and I stopped training two months before we started the hike. I tore ligaments in my ankle at baseball, so I couldn't do any training 2 months before that, and I didn't want to
You
put
just
any
needed it
pressure
to
on
heal,
so let it
yeah.
heal, yeah. But yeah, after 4,000, you can feel the air's getting thinner, and other people feel it before. And the worst thing that happened to me was my hands swell up. They were like balloons, where I took my ski glove off on summit night, and I couldn't get it back on. Because
Why do you
that's
think
from
that
the
is? Just-
altitude? You know,
Is that a
ankles-
thing? Is that a thing?
That's a thing, yeah. So
That must be weird.
some people die, some people get fat hands.
You got, yeah, like you got like water in your gloves kind of
It's
thing.
it's a build-up of fluid in the blood, yeah, or in the
It
system.
almost seems better to go up gradually instead of racing.
Well, they do, and the porters will tell you, like, you walk too fast, they'll tell you, pole, that means slow down,
Yeah.
slowly. No haka, no faster. So it's literally a slow walk. And on summit night as well, there was when you get to the summit, 200 meters before the summit, there's a point. So if you make it there, you've climbed Kili. But then you get to Uhuru, which is the highest point, then you've done the ultimate climb. But that 200
Which is a
meters,
bit further up, or
it's
what?
only 200 meters, but it takes you almost 2 hours to walk. An hour and a half it took us to
Just
walk
to
from that
200
one
meters?
point to Uhuru, and so almost 3 hours there and back, because you're walking so slowly.
But it's at the same height.
It's 200 meters higher.
It's 200 meters higher.
Yeah.
And
But it's
distance-
very gradual.
Distance of walking distance?
Well, I can't tell you the
Like an
distance,
hour
but it was an hour and a half to get to that
Okay,
200 meters higher and then back down again. Then you've literally got 10
That's
minutes.
crazy,
up
eh?
I see.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you're so hammered by that time.
Yeah, no, you broke. But yeah, the adrenaline, and you're delirious, and you feel like you're a little bit tipsy.
Is there a bit of snow up there?
Yeah,
There's a little bit.
no,
eh?
there's still glaciers and stuff, but they're all
Yeah.
worn out and melted. You know.
And the route, is it at least kind of clean? Because I know the Everest trips, the Oaks have been like dumping all their shit everywhere.
Yeah, it's the same thing. A
Is it
lot,
also a
lot
bit-
of rubbish,
bit messy?
A lot of sewage, because the guys have got porta potties
no,
for their
yeah.
clients now. So when they pack up their things, they just dump it somewhere on
Yeah,
the side of the.
so it's a bit.
So you get the
Inevitably.
smell here and there. But they've got a big initiative. They've got porters running up and down the mountain every day,
Cleaning their place.
just cleaning bags, and it's a job
Okay.
for them. So they're just cleaning up wherever
Yeah,
they go. So there
it's a
is an
good thing.
initiative to keep
And
it
is it
clean.
beautiful?
It's a beautiful. You go check out my Facebook or Instagram. There's some beautiful footage and photos that we
Okay.
posted. No, it's
Yeah, it must be stunning.
beautiful experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
And kind of landscapes that you've never been through.
no,
I mean,
you
it's
go
just
through a
like
tropical
compared to
jungle.
South Africa.
to what they call it's almost like a desert. It's just rock and sand. But the sunsets and the sunrises in the morning was ridiculous. I mean, you're on top of the mountain. It's just clouds, and it was beautiful.
Is it a mountainous area, or is it just one big mountain?
That's one big mountain.
Okay.
That is kind of weird, eh?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually an old volcanic.
Was it volcanic?
Yeah. So the mountains, there's Miru next to it, and then I can't remember the other name. Those are real mountains, but in between them is Kilimanjaro, which is an old volcano.
Wow. Okay.
So
Extinct, of course.
extinct volcano.
For now. But so tell me, as far as the climb is concerned, like you getting involved with raising funds and stuff, that all came together. But obviously, you had something inside you that you wanted to do that. Not everyone wants to raise money.
No.
Like, there's something inside you. There's a certain willingness to want to do it.
Well, I think
do you know what I'm saying?
The gift of giving, and that's not my line. That's Nolan's from one of his. Giving back to serving humanity. I think
you're giving back.
Yeah.
In a kind, as a sense of kindness, in a sense.
I think it's just something that's always been in me. Like I always think somebody needs 10 rand more than I do, or 20 rand more than I do. Giving with the car guard or the guy at the corner, depending. I just think it's something that's always been in me. Giving back and helping where we can.
Yeah. No, because that's like a big step. It's not just like giving a car guard. You know what I mean? You're raising funds for like quite a big.
I always just feel somebody needs something more than we do.
No, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And then what about the baseball?
Baseball, I'm involved with 20. I started at under 10s, Red Sox in Kempton. Stopped playing after primary school and then joined up with Benoni Indians roughly 20 years ago. So it's been on and off for the last 20 years. But yeah, it's just.
You just enjoy it, but you're also
life,
coaching them.
Started coaching this year for the first time. Under 10s as well, got roped into that. My kid was supposed to play and decided he's not going to. But by then I'd already been in deep. So coaching under 10s. We've got 2 sides for Benoni. Now made assistant coach for our B side for Gauteng. So we'll be up in Cape Town April for our first provincial side.
So it's it's a bit of a league.
Yeah, no, it's on the junior side, it's a big league.
Yeah.
The juniors will be ending now in April, and then seniors start up in May.
Okay.
So we play sort of till September.
So it's also something you're just enjoying. I mean, what's the age of these kids?
Under 10, so 8, 9 years old. My 2 age groups, but then there's under 12s, there's under 15s, and then under 18s.
I find it quite almost like intriguing that you're involved in all these things, because obviously it's a calling. You know what I'm saying? Like you're giving back in a sense as well to these kids. Well, I'm sure you're not getting
earlier, doing something.
I know there's no salaries involved there.
No.
It's all a good handshake and a bottle of wine at the end of the year or whatever,
maybe a handshake.
If you're lucky.
Maybe the handshake.
Hey?
But it's like we said earlier, you get involved with things you enjoy. You want to be in an environment that you come from. And baseball's just one of those things.
So you were talking about the time you went to Edenvale, and then someone directed you there to kind of go in a bit deeper into
so it was
the workings of Sivan.
Presented to me by my ex-girlfriend, who somehow got through it through a friend of hers, and she went on the course herself first. And then a second part of the course is you can do a relationship healing as well. So when I ended up going with her on the relationship healing, and which seemed to help our relationship a bit. So I thought, let me go do the initial course as well.
Okay.
So it's a 3-day course. In a nutshell, they break you down, expose all your emotions, things that you may have not dealt with in the past. I had my son's birth. He was born without a hand and without a foot, and I think it's something I never really dealt with. The passing of my dad, something I never really dealt with.
Kind of
on an
trauma,
emotional level.
almost emotional trauma.
We just
stuff.
push forward and we just move on and we forget.
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, they expose all those emotions and they break you down literally and build you back up, and then teach you how to deal with it.
So how do they break you down? Just bringing that stuff up, like trying to help you.
Well, you're sitting in a room with people.
Are you writing down kind of?
No, you're speaking, and you're sitting in a room with other people as well. I can come quite shy sometimes, but to expose these things and bring them up
and
into
amongst
the
people
open,
that you don't know,
exactly.
It's not easy.
Yeah. But it was almost like a tantric motion. I don't know if that's the right word, where we banging down sticks on a rubber tire, and it just became an emotional thing. And that was the
and anger, bringing out anger as well.
Anger, the sadness,
tears,
the happiness, everything all at once.
Yeah.
Where you break out in tears, and then you're crying for half an hour, and then that was the end of that session.
Yeah, for sure, until the next one.
And then the next day, now that you've exposed yourself, this is how you're going to deal with things in the
But
future.
I think it's part of healing, Sivan.
It was a big
Yeah.
positive
Yeah.
thing for me.
You know, we carry, and I've done a lot of spiritual work for many years, and we carry a lot of that stuff in our bodies, in our energy bodies. And that stuff leads on to sickness and stuff as well. You know, if we don't go into it, we don't clear it out, you know.
Subconsciously, it's there.
Yeah, it's sitting there. Yeah. And it could be something from, like when you were a kid. You know, your old man clapped you or whatever, and then you got this anger, and maybe you were bawling, and he's like, no, boys don't cry. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
And now you hold that flipping shit inside
It
you.
could be the smallest thing to the biggest thing.
And to a kid, it could be a tiny thing.
Yeah.
To their parents, it's like not such a big deal. No. But to a kid, it's a big flipping deal.
100%.
And that doesn't mean you remember it. It's just that it's sitting in your system. There, yeah. So these exercises take it to kind of work through it. Well, some of it at least.
Well, expose it firstly, initially. Expose it.
Was it just a one-day thing?
No, it was 3 days.
3 days, okay.
The Friday, Saturday and the Sunday.
Okay, so you're staying there?
No, we're driving home at night, 1, 2 in the morning for the first 2 nights, and then the Sunday, I think it started at like 7, 8, and then we're done in the afternoon.
Okay.
Vida, I think it was called.
The program?
The program, yeah.
Okay.
No, I've never heard of it, but there's so many different types of programs, but I'm sure everyone benefits it.
Yeah, well, I
Just
eventually
in their
ended
own
up
right.
sending my oldest son. He was the one born without a hand and foot. So we also wanted to see if how he was dealing with his condition, you know. Because
has he been for some kind of therapy himself over? I mean, that's obviously not an easy thing for a kid.
No, and he's grown up with it. He's accepted it. We think he has. So with it was
easy.
a kiddies version of the same course that we sent him on. Didn't see too much come out of it. They live in Ireland. He's 20. He'll be 23 this year. I think it's now.
Oh, he's in Ireland now.
My older 3 live in Ireland with their mother.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think it's in the last 2 or 3 years. It's had more of a psychological effect,
has it?
Or emotional effect
On him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our relationship has become a little bit distant as well. So I think he's dealing with things, processing.
Not
things.
easy. It's not easy.
He's trying to do it on his own, but I'm giving him his space. And
Yeah, because often we carry so much, and don't look for the kind of help in a sense, but there are ways of, dealing with things in an easier fashion. If we knew the tools.
You tell a 20-year-old what to do.
You can't.
He knows best. So.
Yeah. At that age, you know best, straight. And then tell me something. So after doing that course, it didn't inspire you to maybe go and try some other courses, or
there was an advanced course
else?
After that, but I was quite comfortable what I took from the first course.
You were satisfied.
I didn't want to take it any further. Like I said, it had a calming effect on me, and it changed my life quite a bit. Like dealing with emotions, anger, how I approached specific social events or emotions.
So it made you a bit more aware of those emotions.
Of myself.
And of yourself.
Of myself, mostly,
Yeah, because that's a big thing, because so often you're so caught up in like that moment of what's happening, you don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
You just think that's who you are.
Exactly.
But it's not really who you are. It's kind of, it's all that built up shit that kind of works through us and perhaps directs us on not the best outcomes at times, I don't know, road rage or whatever the case.
No, it was a lot about prioritizing your situation. Like this needed more attention than this need, and this needed more emotion than this needed emotion. So, what do I deal with right now?
And then you've also you're saying your dad's passed away, but you've healed stuff with your dad.
Yeah, no, we had a good relationship. But growing up, we had a terrible relationship. I mean, he gave me the worst advice. But he, at the age of 18, he became my mate. That was
okay. That's not.
When you leave school, we'll be friends.
I won't be the hardcore toppy.
No, he was hardcore.
Why is he hardcore?
No, old morals, very strict.
Old school,
didn't take shit. But yeah, and he stuck to his word. And when I left school, we became best mates.
But the thing is, it probably wasn't so easy for you, because you remember all those times when he was like sorting you out.
Look, he was known as a grumpy old arsehole, but he is what he is, and can't take.
He was German, eh?
He was. He was born in South Africa, but German last name.
The German was strong.
The German was strong.
Because you got something interesting about Sivan is your name. Tell us what name is that, Sivan?
It's Hindi. It's the derivative of Lord Shiva, so god of destruction. So it's a Hindi name. I got that from my grandfather, who got it from his father, who moved here from Germany back then, and he did something for the government or the council, and to honor the Hindi community they were doing things for, he named his son, my grandfather, Sivan.
Okay.
So my mom loved the name, so I got the name from him.
Yeah.
But it's also the third month of the Jewish calendar, so with a German last name.
Yeah.
The Indian German.
Indian Jewish German.
Indian Jewish
German Jew, yeah.
Shafer, hey? Your name Shafer.
Shafer, yes,
It's a cool sounding name. I like the sound.
Yeah.
But I always found that quite amusing, your Indian name, because you don't often find that, am I right?
No, not amongst white people, no. So when I worked for IBM, we had colleagues in India, and they were all named Sivan. So
Is it like Andrew in England, where everyone's
Well, funny enough, at the barber shop we got an Andrew, who's an Indian guy, and we got Sivan, who's the white guy. So when the people book on our app, they're like, "Oh no, I'm going to book with Andrew because Sivan."
And I think it's you.
And then they rock up there and they say, "Oh, you booked with Andrew?" And they're like, "No, I booked with you." I'm like, "No, well, that's Andrew." And then they look at me like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "I'm Sivan." So they get confused, and vice versa. The Indians will book with me, and the white guys will book with him.
It's kind of funny, eh?
No, it's like we have a good laugh in this shop. Use the shit out of them.
Because honestly, I didn't know that Sivan. I didn't know the name Sivan. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
As far as the name is concerned.
A lot of the Jewish guys, I think it's Sivan, C-I-V-I-N, also
okay.
pronounced Sivan. But that's quite common.
No, it's just interesting. I mean, it's like there's no mistakes in your name.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
like there's kind of call it an energy about a name.
Yeah. No,
you know, so
you can't get it wrong. But
so I wonder if it's interesting with yours. With what did you say, Shiva?
Lord Shiva,
Yeah. Maybe you got some connection there.
Yeah, well, when I used to work in IT, we were in the freight industry, and it's quite a lot of Indians in the freight industry back then. And my boss, who was Indian, would send me off to a client, and like, no, he's sending Sivan. And then I get there, and I was like, hey, but you're not a Charo.
Did he say that?
The clients would say that, not once, a few times. Like, hey, I was expecting a Charo to come in here now.
He said, oh, well, I just don't have much of a tan this time.
No, I'm a bit Charo. These curls are natural. Yeah?
That's just funny. That's kind of funny. Maybe you need to go have a past life regression. You might have been like a Shiva back in that time.
Maybe.
You know?
Or I'm going to be. Who knows?
No? You never know.
You are. You're projecting, I mean, your energies, you're projecting a powerful energy since I met you, so, and it's different, so it suits you, the name.
I don't pick up on those things, but I get it often in auras, and like women especially, like, oh, your aura is so yellow, what's so orange?
Oh, did I tell you that?
All the time. Orange is the most common one, so...
So
I don't know what to make of that or take.
Orange sounds all right.
Yeah, I like orange. It's my favorite color. So maybe that's why.
Is it Shiva that was blue? Are they blue?
I think it was blue.
Yeah.
He's got like a blue, the blue skin.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what.
That just came to mind. So.
But also you must remember if they're talking about seeing your aura or whatever, each chakra's got a different color.
Yes.
So maybe they're picking up on the orange there.
Yeah. Well, it's always orange.
Is it always orange?
Usually it's orange. I've had yellow once, but when somebody sees my aura, it's orange.
So you got these kind of psychic chicks that are hanging around you, Sivan?
Some crazy ones too, yes. We won't go there.
But you also did a stint of boxing as well.
I've been out of boxing, amateur, a little bit of kickboxing, on and off most of the
More for exercise?
No, I competed. I competed. Did kickboxing for 7 years. Did boxing prior to that since 16.
Oh, okay.
Then I did kickboxing till the age of 27. Competed in the Great North. That was when the Canadians would come to South Africa, and then a couple of local events as well. But boxing's always been on and off. From white collar, started a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Delved into that quite a few tournaments. I think I had one 2 years ago. That was the last time.
And no, not really.
No, it's just time.
Getting old now, man.
Yeah, I'm hitting 50, 2 years or 3. So
Still climbing mountains.
Yeah, I mean, well, the next goal for this year is to do the Munga race. I don't know if you've heard
What
of
is
that.
it?
It's 1,000 kilometers over 5 days from Bloemfontein to Cape Town.
Riding.
Riding mountain bike, yeah. So it's about 200 k's a day.
That's a lot.
Long dirt sand roads, farmlands.
Uphill or?
I think there's hills, but I think the challenge there is you're riding through the night, you're riding in cold temperatures.
Okay.
You could be riding on your own for 10 hours, you isolated.
And you've got certain camps along the.
You want to
pit
make the camps. There are watering holes along each route, but you want to make it to the campsite
Yeah.
where you can get a bit of rest and freshen up.
And you, like I know, like you got the Cape Epic or whatever. That's a team, a partner effort.
Generally,
Is this? I mean, you got a partner. You know, partners or the guys that are you raising the funds with, or how does it work?
You can do solo events, but we'd like to do it as a team. So there's about currently 4 of us. I'd like to get it to about 10, and then along with Nolan Pillay from Be the Best Version of Yourself.
So he'll also.
He won't
be joining
ride, but
you.
he'll
Won't
help
he
us
ride?
with the campaign and
Okay.
the fundraiser. So he'll find us a cause or an initiative to do it for. So
I want to just ask you quickly about this Nolan Pillay. He sounds like an interesting chap.
yes.
Why did he write that book?
Funny enough, he's never written a book in his life. He's a SAP consultant. He does IT. When he came out of the hospital after surviving COVID, I think he just put
Was
it.
he inspired?
So he's also a mind coach. So I think with all his abilities as a mind coach, going to corporate companies, teaching them how to work with their minds, maybe on a spiritual level as well. I think it just struck him to write a book, and I think he's busy with his 3rd book right now.
And the book has done pretty well.
I can't tell you. Wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's out there.
It was sold. It sold internationally as well.
Yeah.
His first book, yeah, that I do know.
Okay.
But numbers I can't.
So it's a
tell you.
personal it's part of his personal journey, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Also interesting, very interesting character.
Okay.
You should maybe get him on your show.
Yeah. Maybe it'd be
Could set
someone
that
to look into. And he's from Benoni.
And he's from Benoni. Well,
Who's not from Benoni? That's the question.
Seems like that, yeah.
Eh?
yeah, let's make it about Benoni. Keep it about Benoni.
No, I found it interesting, man. But and just back to that race quickly, Sivan. How many days do you do that? You said you do that over?
It'll be over 5 days.
5 days.
So I think it's 100 and... Yeah, you got 120 hours to complete the race.
And how many guys are competing? Is it like a big number?
Yeah, there's quite a big number. There's a couple of
Like a few hundred
100,000,
guys. Yeah.
100,000.
No, like
maybe what,
1,000, sorry, 1,000, maybe 2,000.
Okay, as
So
much
it's
as
just,
that.
I've only heard about this now the other day.
Ah.
A client of mine did it, and he's like, no, he did the Munga. I'm like, what's this? And
You're like, manga.
challenge accepted.
Yeah.
I want to get this thing going. So, buy a bike, rope a couple of people
See,
in.
because you're on the case. You really got your bike and you're starting to do a couple of laps of the block.
But I like it, he's dedicated.
He's dedicated.
You set your mind.
You heard about it and you like hitting it.
Well, I climbed a mountain, so you think you can do
This has got to
anything.
be easy. I'm invincible, bro. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe you can
I
be
think
the
you-
next like at pedal skis across the Atlantic or something,
Like,
dude.
over the next 5 to maybe 10 years, I'd like to do some more peaks and more mountains.
It's such an exciting time, man.
Yeah, some
You know,
beautiful hills out there.
also like like you're saying, you're knocking on 50, but that kind of stuff you can carry on for a while with still.
Yeah.
Quite
I'm
easily.
pretty active and
Yeah.
fitish, maybe.
Well, after all this, you're going to be flipping fit.
Hopefully,
eh?
yeah.
But anyway, we're going to put your links and all that.
Okay.
Eastside Barbers.
Yeah.
And your links to all the fundraising stuff.
Yeah,
you got stuff for that,
Not at the moment.
Sivan?
We'll post it on our social media, Facebook
Yeah.
and Instagram. Once we get it up, once the campaigns are up and
Yeah.
running, we'll put links. So there'll be GoFundMe accounts. There'll be links to our videos.
And we can start following it.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be great. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
And share it out there
We
with
can
the
do
masses.
some interviews or whatever.
yeah.
Whoever else is involved or something, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
maybe
once-
this chap old Nolan.
Nolan
or
Pillay. Yeah.
Maybe someone else. I don't know. Could be interesting.
Or maybe we can do a group one once we got all the cyclists. Do a little quick stint with them.
Yeah, that'll be.
Maybe, like kind of, not in here, but somewhere.
We'll come to.
Yeah, we'll come to there.
We'll do it at the studio.
Yeah,
Yeah, at the barber
That could be
shop.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sivan, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks
Cheers,
for
my
having
buddy.
me.
First, we're going to just thank you, my man, and thanks for all that you've been doing.
Yeah, good to
Really.
see you again.
Russell,
It's been a pleasure.
thank you, and like and subscribe
Today.
today, now.
Bye.